What have you and the policing board changed in the past year to make the young people of our society safer?
The board very much has at its core human rights, and the human rights of young people are considered there. So there's a monthly meeting around what the PSNI do in terms of human rights issues, and within that it's about keeping people safe. So we also then would take advice. We have a youth advisory panel that I chair, and round the table are members of organisations who work with a whole raft of young people. So that's from the Education Authority, who work with young people from all over the place, to people who work with very vulnerable young people, and also young people who are involved in the criminal justice system. And all of our work is looked at in terms of human rights and equality. So that is about keeping young people safe. We make sure that all our policies and all our plans are kind of young people proofed, I suppose. So we engage with young people, and we engage with the agencies who know about young people to make sure that the issues that are coming up that are impacting the most on young people are the issues that are top of the agenda, and we make sure we give those good attention. So something like, I'll give you an example at the moment, something that's coming up quite a lot is cybercrime and all the issues that can impact on young people, and that's everything from bullying to sexting and images that can appear online, young people getting kind of blackmailed, or there was a really sad case there of the young fellow that committed suicide. So those things like that are top of our agenda, and we have put a huge pressure, I suppose, on the PSNI to look at that as an issue, and we are constantly getting information and advice from people who are experts in that, and how we can keep young people safe, and working in partnership with the PSNI to make sure we come up with strategies that are going to ensure your safety. And that's a lot about influencing your behaviour as much as anything else. But so we will look at key things that are impacting young people at the moment, and that's from lots of advice, and it is a huge amount of work, but really we're at that level where we look at the strategy, and then the PSNI will very much carry out the operation of that and the day-to-day running of that. So I might sit around the table and talk about how it's a great idea, and then we pass it off to Tony to actually do it.
I suppose policing then becomes around what Catherine says, how do we protect people? And I could talk generally about how we prevent crime and protect people and protect the vulnerable. But for young people, and I'm interested to hear from you, what are the big issues for young people? Probably drugs, as Catherine says, probably that online safety piece around bullying, images, all of that. The other big issue that comes up when we talk about young people is antisocial behaviour. I just want to talk about those three areas and what we've done in recent times around that. We have within the neighbourhood teams trained officers, our case officers as we call them, and the case officers are case stands for citizenship and safety education, and they're the officers who go into your schools and talk to you just about those issues, how to protect yourself when you're on Facebook, when you're on Twitter, when you're doing your Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is. What does that mean? How to protect yourself from predators who are out there, but actually how to protect yourself, from doing something daft that you'll regret. Because when that image is up there, girls and young man, when that image is up there, it's up there forever. And whether you think Snapchat goes away and it can only see it, it's up there forever. So we do a number of education pieces around that. We've held a number of seminars in the city, not only with young people, but actually with your parents, to talk to parents about how they have a bit of oversight. Because I'm a dad, I've got 4 kids, I've 3 girls and a boy, and parents are we're a bit daft when it comes to all this stuff, the online stuff, as probably all your folks are, maybe just less comfortable with it than you folks. And really just asking parents to have a wee bit of oversight, to look over your shoulder and say, what are you looking at? What's the site? I think the fear parents have is this kind of online grooming. That's not where we see most of this happening. Sometimes you get the high profile cases. It's actually peer-to-peer stuff. So between groups of kids, and you get bullying and you get people being picked on, and that's probably where the bulk of this stuff sits. Drugs, again, we deliver lots of case material on drugs, and we're really open and honest about drugs and the effect they have on you, what the dangers are of them. Antisocial behaviour is the other big area that kind of gets flagged up around young people quite a lot. I'm really conscious that antisocial behaviour sometimes isn't that antisocial. It's really about you folks gathering with your friends on a Friday or Saturday night and chatting. And I'm really conscious that we don't label that as antisocial. Now, when it gets into the criminal, when it gets into breaking windows or drinking on the street and, you know, annoying people, kicking their doors or whatever it is, that's different. That's beyond the bounds of what's reasonable. If you're standing around having a chat, that's not antisocial to me. Actually, that's quite social. That's just you engaging with your friends. And we're really conscious with the neighbourhood teams of not labelling people, of not criminalising those sorts of behaviours, and actually pushing back sometimes against communities and saying, do you know what? Those young people weren't doing anything.